Welcome to the School Owner Talk podcast, the longest-running martial arts school owner podcast in our industry. Join Duane Brumitt and Allie Alberigo as they share expert insights, proven strategies, and the keys to growing your martial arts business. Let's take your school to the next level. And now here's our hosts, Duane and Allie.
Hello and welcome back to School Owner Talk, the show that helps martial arts school owners like you grow, thrive, make a bigger impact both inside and also outside the studio.
Yeah, and today we're diving into one of the most powerful times of the year for your business, back to school season. And it's when families are looking to get back into their routines, or hopefully getting back into their routines. Kids are starting fresh new school years, and parents are ready to commit to different activities, and that'll help their children succeed in and out of school. And we hope that we're one of them.
Exactly. And we know from past experience, it's cyclical. This is the time of the year, that we need to be moving forward. And we're not just going to talk about any back to school push. We're going to show you how to really combine your back to school, let's say, momentum with some obviously back to school ideas. Also, our National Martial Arts Appreciation Month that we do in September, so that you can really create massive enrollment opportunities to both boost your own economy, but also strengthen your community.
Yeah, and we'll break. I love this program, and I already have like a bunch of people involved with it, right? And we're going to break down how to run a buddy week, and that not only brings in friends and relatives of your current students, but also turns these guests into long-term members.
Right. It's about making the rest of August, obviously September, one of your biggest growth months of the year, and setting up your fall. To have a full season of let's say energy, excitement, and also retention.
Yeah, and grab your notebooks on this one. As you're listening, if you're driving, don't do it. But if you're listening, or if you are driving and listening, go back home and re-listen and write this down. But get your notebooks out and let's get ready to make this a very effective back to school season. Let's jump right in right now, Duane. Let's get started.
Yeah. So I think first thing is why. Answering the question why back to school is really one of the prime growth seasons for martial arts schools specifically, and it's not just martial arts, but of course we own martial arts schools. So part of it is I think the parents and the kids, they're getting back into structure and framework. They're getting into some normalcy where the kids have to be up on time and they have to go to bed on time, and obviously that structure and that framework flows very, very well into what we do as martial arts school owners with the structure and framework that we offer. So it's a great opportunity to kind of pair up what we do, how we do it, with what the parents are looking for. Obviously the kids need to be refocused on school with concentration and discipline and respect, and that's exactly what we do. We focus on that opportunity to have, the discipline, the respect, the concentration, and the focus that they need. And here's the funny thing is that was one of the things, by the way, I know this isn't the topic that we're on, but that's actually one of the things that I used for my marketing all summer is that, yes, school is out, but discipline, focus, goal setting, determination, respect doesn't stop in the summer. But anyhow, this is really now the time for us to make sure that we're doing everything possible to move the bottom line forward.
Yeah, and I kind of give parents, I give parents credit for the type of lives that they're living right now in this day and age. In fact, I was just out to breakfast with my buddies. Today there were 7 of us, which is cool. The bad part was I got stuck with the bill this week, so it cost me $240 for everybody. Each week we shift and who pays, but some of the weeks it just falls on to like 2 or 3 people, and then somebody grabs the bill. I'll pay. This week the bill sat right in front of me the entire time. No one reached for it, grabbed for it, so I was stuck paying it. But parents nowadays have so much. Like I remember when I was a kid, I only played baseball, Little League baseball. There wasn't Little League. There wasn't soccer, football, hockey, basketball, all of this stuff. There was one activity that we could do. So my parents had me in martial arts. I was taking private music lessons and I was in a band. And then I played baseball. And once that ended, I could focus fully on my martial arts. Nowadays, the parents are like a calendar going from one to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. So even though that this is back to school, they're still going to be pretty busy and inundated. So we have to make sure that we do market, we do advertise the benefits of what we do. You know, like you mentioned, confidence, focus, discipline, and so on. You don't get that, in my opinion, in many other activities.
Not in a structured way. You know what I mean? Like we are a good martial arts school is purposely teaching it. I mean, it is in there,
Right.
and we're purposeful about it. It's not just happening by happenstance or accident because it's a byproduct of what we do.
Right.
It's really, I believe, a good martial arts school that's the forefront of what we do.
Yeah, I love it. So I've become really a huge fan of this program that we kind of put together. You know, that you had mentioned it to me, that your instructor, Mr. Bean, came up with a concept and an idea. You threw it, out there for me, and like my brain started running with it. And then you and I started brainstorming back and forth, and it's developed into this big thing. Right now, just in Long Island, I have 7 of my friends that are actually doing it at their schools. You're in your area, you're doing it there. We have other people out of state. I have one person out of country doing it. So it's pretty exciting, and it's just an entire month called National Martial Art Appreciation Month. And let's talk about it as a marketing hook.
Yeah, and give you a little quick backstory. So Mr. Bean and I were kind of talking about different things and brainstorming, and everything is wrapped around an event. So you need some sort of event to spark interest, right? And so he came up with a fictitious holiday called, National Martial Arts Appreciation Month. And the reason I say fictitious is because there is no National Martial Arts Appreciation Month,
Right.
in the books, but we decided to go ahead and coin that and just start using it. So with that is the umbrella for us in September, that everything is around the appreciation of martial arts, not just the moves, but everything that it encompasses, it all the way down to, for me, my personal influences when I was a kid and was not in martial arts to when I got into martial arts, and the influences from there and the appreciation as well. So it not only is an opportunity to have an event, but I think the neat thing is, along with appreciation, it gives you, the school owner, an opportunity to talk about your heritage and why that lineage is so important, and the other influences that have played into your life. Because normally now, I think most schools, they're really not talking about that like it was when you and I came through the ranks, especially you, but me too, a little bit, where there was this lineage and the importance of it. So I wanted to give a backstory to how it was
and by
created.
the way, to add to what you're saying is that, quite often we talk about an event, whatever it is, Nerf Wars or something like that. And we talk about it till we're blue in the face, almost to the point where we're so sick of hearing ourselves talk about it that we give up. We don't want to bother over talk about, say the same thing over and over and over again to the same parents in the lobby. However, the way this is put together, this National Martial Art Appreciation Month, is that it gives us the vessel, the sounding board, to talk about many aspects within our school, like just alone the tradition. So what I did is I made up a sheet, and I had the lineage of my style, like where it started, how many hundreds of years ago, and who they came to, and how it kind of dwindled down, and where I became a part of that lineage. In fact, it was funny. One time I was on a podcast, and I was talking to the podcast host, and he showed a video or picture of his lineage, and I actually was in it because his instructor, I got him involved in Genbukan and taught him for a while. So he had me, this guy who owns a school, had me as part of his lineage, and it kind of went down, and I was there. And by the way, I did that, and a lot of people were shocked. Parents had no clue. They really had no idea. The old "you don't know what you don't know" thing. They didn't know what questions to ask. They didn't know what to talk about, what to say. So they basically would just go along with it, right? So now we have that opportunity to talk about the history, the culture, why the whys. We do this bow, we do that, we do this move, we do that move, and so on and so forth. It's a really great way to wrap the entire month around getting people to know what you're all about.
And the other aspect to the lineage and heritage is it gives your students obviously the knowledge, but it gives them a pride of where they have come from.
Yeah.
And if parents even took that idea and implemented it into their own family structure, going, here's my parents, here's where they came from, here's what they
Right.
did, here's their
Right.
parents, here's what they, there is there's just a structure and a comfortability and oh man, how do I want to word this? I guess, pride. There's a pride that starts to come up, especially when you start going through and you see what your parents did and how things happen and them and
Yeah.
so on and so forth. And so that same pride and respect and lineage in your own family, that can be inside of your school as well. And
Yes.
this is the time of the month that it's okay to talk about it, because sometimes most of us are kind of standoffish on, hey, this is what I did, this is what I did, this is what I did.
Right. Right.
This is where I've come from. Now it gives us a platform to create that lineage and that heritage.
Yeah, and to toot your own horn, just so to speak, where you could talk about what you've done or what your school has done, when it started, how you began, the early roots, etc., how many black belts you've promoted, and so on. And there's so many layers that we've come up with this National Martial Art Appreciation Month. So, for example, we love it when kids are more involved, right? Like, so if you're in baseball, you could easily go outside and have a catch with your parent, or go have a catch with your friends, or play a street ball game, or, play on the team, or do whatever, watch your favorite team on TV, get a hat, a jersey, a yearbook, or whatever. But martial arts is kind of hard to do that with, right? So we start giving them this lineage, and we give them the ideas, and we start telling them about our history, which ingrains them into what we do. So like if you were Italian and you have a really strong heritage, and you could go back to your village and, wherever in Italy, and see where your ancestors grew up and the homes that they lived in. It's kind of like that same style feeling. We even went so far as to making up a list of the top 10 movies that a parent can watch with their kids that they probably have never heard of, because some of our kids' parents are younger than we are. And, so we're remembering
Most of them.
Yeah, we're remembering movies like The Three Ninjas and Chuck Norris' Top Dog, or Underdog Kids, another martial art film. So I wrote out a list of all these movies, and I gave it to the parents to take the kids to take home and watch with their children. So next time they're looking for something to watch something that is martial art based and fun, that will get them excited about being better at the martial arts and coming to class more often and being better at that jumping kick, spinning kick, or whatever, right? So there's a lot to this.
Yeah, absolutely. So really, in essence, for us, and I know in the introduction you had mentioned Buddy Week. That's kind of what this is, meaning it's a glorified Buddy Week is all it really is when you
Right.
when you boil it down. But we're wrapping it up in a much better, more appealing idea, and called the National Martial Arts Appreciation Month. And so I don't know if you want, but we can kind of go through some ideas, some things that
Yeah.
we've done in the past, some things that we're doing
Yeah.
this year. For you, is this your third year?
Third year.
Yeah, so this is my fourth year then, because we did it the year right after COVID. So this will be our fourth year doing it. But I know one thing that you had brought up, which we took the idea from you, was having a National Martial Arts Appreciation Month T-shirt. Can you explain,
Yeah. Absolutely.
what you did, and then how
Now,
we
by
could
the
afford
way,
it?
I don't, it's very easy to afford. I'll tell you why, because it's going to cost you zero if you put in a little legwork. But by the way, I do National Martial Art Appreciation Month, and I do Buddy Month. So every single class at any given time throughout the entire month, they could bring in up to 2 friends with them into class.
And yeah, and mine's in a week. So I
Right.
do mine. What is it? This year is September 22nd through the 26th. So
Right.
I only do it for 1 week. But yes, you do it. You sprinkle it out through the whole month.
I do it the entire month. I don't care when they come. Just keep on bringing friends. And by the way, they get a T-shirt if they bring. The person who brings in guests, the student gets a T-shirt. Then for every single guest they bring in, they get a T-shirt as well.
The
So
guest gets a
last year,
T-shirt.
yeah, the guests get a T-shirt. Now last year it cost us about $500, $600 to buy shirts, right? So you're like, wow, that's $500. I mean, obviously it's marketing, so it's not really that much of a cost. However, what I did was I went out and got sponsors. So I just got another 5 sponsors because I'm going to do a different color. I have some left over from last year's color, but I wanted to do a new color. And for all the kids that have done it in the past, now they get a different color shirt. And I got 5 sponsors on the back. All of them are paying $200 a pop, so that's $1,000 in sponsorship. It cost me about 580, somewhere around there, to get the shirts. I think I'm paying wholesale around $8. And if any of you want to do it, you could order on demand. My good friend is Gary from Eastern Martial Arts in New York City, in Freeport, I believe he's in. And you could reach out to me and I'll give you his number, and he could make them up and ship them to you. And you could do 10, you could do 20, you could do 30. You don't have to have a minimum. But I actually literally made a $500 profit on my shirts. I made money on making shirts. It didn't cost me money. I made a profit because my sponsors paid for the shirts and there was some left over.
And I'll tell you what, that was one of the biggest hooks to have our students bring someone in because they wanted that shirt.
Oh yeah.
And we displayed what it was going to look like. So
Right.
obviously they had an idea of what it was going to look. Oh, I want one of those. This is the only way that you're
Yeah.
ever going to get this shirt. Like, so
Yeah, last year I had a student. He owns Rocket Star. It's a company that builds rocket ships and rocket engines, right? So he donated. He just donated $1,000. Here you go, $1,000. Like, put it towards the shirt. So I did way better last year because the shirts only cost me like $600 last year because I had to buy more. This year I have some left over. So I mean, it went towards the dojo and it helps us with the growth of the school. So everybody who comes in gets a shirt that brings the friend. Every student brings in, they get a shirt, and every single one of their friends, 1 to 20, everybody gets a shirt for coming in as a guest, right? Then, of course, we get all their info, their phone number, and we give them a 2-week free trial membership. We call them right away, try to get them on board. And I think last year, I think I signed up 17 new members for the month. The year prior, I did a little bit better. I think I did like 22 members. So it was really powerful, and like I said, it's just a great like you said, a motivational tool, to get something free for putting in your time and effort. And here's one other thing: in my school, my referral program is if they get me 5 people that join for the year, they get a year for free. So they were all shooting to get in as many friends as they could because if we signed them all up and we got them 5, the parents saved. So the parents were out there, like, you got to do this, get your friends, ask your neighbors. They were getting people to come in the whole entire time.
yeah, and I think that makes a difference. So the t-shirts are very important. Like you said, go to local businesses, other business owners that you know. I
Yeah.
would suggest that you go to your own client base first and put out there, look, if you have a business and you'd like to advertise on the back of our, upcoming
Yeah.
National Martial Arts Appreciation Month t-shirts, reach out to me. Here's my info. However, but I would start internally and
Oh, dude,
promote.
I did a checkout page
Yeah.
and I sent it out with a soft email. Hey, attention, any parents who own their own business and want to sponsor our National Martial Art Appreciation t-shirt, click on this link and check out our sponsorship options. 5 people, boom, like that. Like, and it was funny because it's like 2 parents I didn't even know that had their own company. One construction company, one dental lab. One of them is a challenge. Remember Dooley? We did an interview with Dooley.
Yeah.
He did
Yep.
a sponsorship for me.
Yep.
So pretty powerful stuff.
Yeah. So that's one hook to utilize. Here's some other things that we've done where we like all of our mat chats. have been about martial arts appreciation. And like, so one year we did it where, we talked about, every week we had a different martial artist that we were talking about. So it could have been, Jun Ree, and it could have been Bruce Lee, and, of course, Chuck Norris, just because, one of the styles that we utilize is Tung Sudo. And so, but we, went through, different people, and introduced a lot of students to these icons in
Yeah.
martial arts history that most of them never even knew existed.
Yes. Isn't that crazy?
So that's one thing that you can do, is make it part of your mat chats. Another thing that we did is we had all of the instructors shoot a video on their appreciation in martial arts, and their upcoming in martial arts, meaning, when they started, why they started, why they're still there, what they've learned, what they appreciate about the martial arts the most. And then we shot videos, and of course we utilized those videos, sent them out to our own clients, we put them on our social media handles. I mean, just all of those things. And then blog posts. So, I had one of my instructors take the 4 different arts that we do, and then create 4 different blog posts. This was before Chat GPT was big. I think this was the first year that we did it. We didn't know anything about Chat GPT 4 years ago, but so we created 4 different blog posts for all of those arts, and then we took those blog posts and created emails, and then sent them out as well to our students and staff, and those type of things, just so that they had an idea of what they're doing, what it entails, where it came from. They weren't like long articles, but long enough. I mean, about 500-600 words, that type of thing. So those are some opportunities that you can utilize, to keep the momentum going. I'm trying to think what else. What
Well,
else have you done?
we also too. Let's go back to the concept of buddy week or buddy month or whatever it is. Um, we have to we have to wrap around. So sometimes schools have buddy months, buddy week. Let's just say they do a buddy week, and they tell me only 2 people came in. And that's because you don't put enough excitement and hype into it. You don't give people enough time, and you just go, oh, by the way, Buddy Week is next week, right? There's no marketing into the Buddy Week. So we want to take National Martial Art Appreciation Month. For me, it's an entire month of excitement to bring in their buddies. So I've already started marketing this program. It's already up on my app. I already made a video, and so did a few of my friends that are doing it as well. They have a video talking about National Martial Art Appreciation Month, and they used the logo that we developed and everything. It's pretty awesome, right? It's exciting. And one of my friends didn't do it last year, and he said, I'm going to do it this year. So he started working on it in June. So he's going to have it ready for September, working out what he's going to do. So you want to give them incentive. Of course, the incentive is they get a t-shirt, but you could also do other incentives as well. So maybe they get a prize if they bring in 5 people. Then they get a prize. They maybe could pick from one of your dojo, your school shirts versus the other one, or give them $20 in gear dollars, right? Like, so that they could purchase something in your store, some gear through your school. And by the way, here's the secret. $20 in gear dollars really only costs us like $7 or $8, right? Because $8 wholesale, you buy a bow staff for, $8 and you sell it for 25. You're giving away $20, right? But you really only paid 8. So that gift that you gave goes a long way.
And can I make
Yeah.
Can I correlate this? So if you're running, let's just say Facebook ads, right? For each one of those Facebook ads, somebody clicking it, you generally costs you more than $7 to
Oh,
get
yeah.
that person to click. So to your point, you give them a $20 gear thing, you're really only spending 7. That was a Facebook ad lead. I mean, it wasn't Facebook, but you see what I'm saying.
Right.
It's
No,
it's
but
like
it was
you're,
actually a lot cheaper than what Facebook would have cost you.
and not that only is it's cheaper, they've already been in and experienced
Yes.
what you're doing. So I want to really draw that, because some people look at that and go, oh my gosh, that's $20 that I'm giving away.
Yeah.
No, it's actually $7 to $8. And you would have given that $7 or $8 easily to have a Facebook
Oh,
lead,
yeah. Oh,
which,
yeah.
I like Facebook leads, don't get me wrong, but it's nothing like a referral lead.
Nothing.
So I wanted to make sure that there was context behind the $20, gear.
Yeah, and if you're doing paid trials and you're able to get them to come in, you followed up with them and you got them to do a paid trial, now you've made your money back and you start paying yourself and you're making a profit on the paid trial because it didn't cost you anything to bring them in. So you do have a little bit of extra cushion to give that student, to motivate them, to give them a prize, to have them shoot for it. So sometimes you can make this into a contest. The first person to reach, or everybody who brings in, we know the prize, they get a shirt for themselves, they get a shirt for their friend, but they also get to fill out a raffle ticket and put it in the bucket for a prize at the end. The one who has the most raffles that brought people in wins a dojo, a school. I say dojo all the time because I'm a Japanese stylist, but a school jacket, winter jacket. That maybe costs you 70 bucks if you get it embroidered or silk screen. And by the way, my friend Gary could do one-offs. You could do one jacket, one, whatever. So he doesn't charge for minimums. But anyway, so that's just another way now to amp up the referrals. They want, not only they want to bring their friends to get the shirts, but now they want to get the most friends so they could get the jacket. And and they get $5 for each friend for every gift to buy gear, which normally they're going to buy more money in gear because it's going to cost more and you're going to make money on the retail anyway. So there's everything. Remember we used to talk about years ago, and I just mentioned this on my coaching calls yesterday, like the spider web.
Yeah.
Everything is all interconnected. Each, woven string of the web is connected to the other. So that's something that we have to start thinking in layers, right? And it's not one thing, it's like a million things.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I liked and I'll give you, for instance, I like the raffle idea
Yeah.
because, so in the summertime, we always do summer fun. And every time you come in, you get a ticket and then you write your name on the ticket, first and last name, you put it in our drum. And then every week we draw for a prize. Every month we draw for a bigger prize. So like every week is a $5 gift card to Dairy Queen. Every month it's a $25 gift card to Amazon. And at the end of the summer, so we go June, July, and August. At the end of the summer, we draw for a $100 bill.
That's great.
But like this summer, we had a buddy day where if everybody you bring in, you get 10 tickets.
Right.
And then if your buddy joins, meaning they enroll,
right,
you get 50 tickets for
Wow.
each enrollment. And so like in our New Lenox location, we got 2 enrollments from that, so the kid got 100 tickets. Yeah. And of course the mom's filling out all those tickets.
Yeah.
But I bring all that up because, and then in actually Bradley, we got 1, but I bring all that up because, to your point, the kids will bring in they'll bring in more people if there's another incentive. So yes, there's an incentive to bring one person in so they get 1 t-shirt. It's not like if they bring in 5 that they're going to get 5 t-shirts for themselves. Right. That's not the case. But if they're getting 5 tickets, that goes into a barrel that then at the end of every week for you would draw a prize, or at the end of every month, or for me, at the end of that week, that 1 week, I draw for a few prizes, whatever. Right. There's more incentive to bring more people along with it. So there's just this idea that, I got to bring somebody. And to your point, with regards to, look, if you get 5 people to join, then you get a free tuition for the whole year. Oh my gosh, yeah. What parent wouldn't be reminding their kid or asking them for, someone? Yeah.
And again, it's all about building hype, right? Like I just read a really great book. The guy who wrote $100 million sales leads, and it was phenomenal. He's a gym launch guy. I'm trying to think of his name right now. I can't think of it.
I got his face in my picture of his face in my head, but I can't.
Yeah, he looks like a caveman, big beard, wild hair. He wears a nose strip on his nose. But anyway, I'll remember his name as we're talking because I tend to, my brain goes blank sometimes, and then boom, it pops right up. But anyway, he was saying like what we pay for leads, sometimes is a lot less than what it would cost us to advertise for leads. So like if you gave a referral gift or a free year, or you gave out a prize on top of the shirt, those are all like, if it's right now for me, it's about $250 to $300 per lead that comes in the door. When you total up all my advertising, website, flyers, Facebook, Google, all these things, when you look at it all, it costs me about $300 a lead, and not every single lead signs up. So it's even more to sign a person up. So what are we willing to give away money wise to get that lead in the door? And let's say it's $150. That's a lot less than it would cost us if we advertised through our other channels, right? But here's the one thing, Duane, too, that we want to talk about, and this is super important, is that in our schools, retention is a big problem, right? So we talk about, retention strategies. What are we doing? What do we do to keep students longer, and so on and so forth. And I think that for me, I always say to myself, if someone knew the benefits, if they could see into the future and see what it would have been like if they stuck with it, and how getting your black belt or how getting to your brown belt would have changed how well you did in school, the power of relationships that you had, the quality of the job, staying away from negative peer pressure, being able to make more money and income, right? Being a higher quality person, a happier person, right? Those things are, if we could show that, retention would be through the roof in our schools. But we don't do a good enough job. We try, and I certainly try, and I know you do with our onboarding and all the other things that we do, that we try our best to be able to keep people educated, right, on what we do. Right. So now if we were able to do that, and we would be able to talk to these parents and get them to understand, that would change the way our students stay. That is one of the things we do in National Martial Art Appreciation Month. We're doing so much to educate them on the benefits. Like you said, you did a word of the month.
Well, we do a word of the month. Yeah.
Well, we do a word of the month, but we do a word of the week when it comes to National Martial Art Appreciation Month. So we'll do 5 words, and then we'll tie that into the lesson. And then we put it up on our Facebook page, and we tell the parents what we're talking about in the lobby, integrity, honesty, consistency, grit, like all these things. And we write them down, and we do a word of the week so that we're giving them powerful strategies. And then we go out and we tell the parents to discuss it with the kids at home. So even if you wanted to do a worksheet, have them bring their worksheet in back with them for some points towards their next belt level promotion, and hand it to the parent and say, have you and the kids work together and write down what they feel is good about the word integrity or loyalty or honor, right? Or grit, stick-to-itiveness, that kind of thing. And this is another thing that builds the retention in our school. Then they learn about the history. Then they watch movies and they love the martial arts. And then we're talking about all these positive benefits, who we started with, what our lineage is, why we're so cool and awesome. Like they don't know this stuff.
Yep.
We got to educate. I'm not saying brag and be like, look at me, I'm the best. But if we don't tell them what we've done and accomplished, they're never going to know. Not 99.9% of them are not going to go on the internet and research you and read through your website. They join your school because it was clean. You had a good price. The program seemed awesome. The kids wanted to go. Let's make them stay. Let's teach those parents what tools they have in their hands that could change their kids' lives forever.
Yep, absolutely. Another idea too is we've done where we have the kids shoot a video, like the students shoot a video on what they appreciate about TriStar Martial Arts Academy, and we encourage them to use the words TriStar Martial Arts Academy and then submit that. So I have a link. So on the app, they can, because we'll put this on the app, but there's a link on the app that actually sends them to my Dropbox that they can upload that video. And I'm going to say all this because it's kind of nerdy, but just so that people understand what I'm doing, because I'm automating as much as I possibly can. So in that link, they click on it, they go to Dropbox, and then they can upload that video. Well, I have I have Zapier. I use the free version of Zapier, and I've created this Zap. Yeah, no, this Zap that so, and I forget what it's called. But anyways, when there's an upload, it tells Zapier that there's an upload. Zapier then slacks a certain channel that I put into Slack, letting all the head instructors know that there's a new video that's been
Right.
uploaded. So then what I do is I take that video and I will put it into a program and put captions on it, cut out whatever I need, but mostly I don't, and put captions on it. And then I utilize that on social media. But what we also do is we will play that in class, so that others can see that, little Johnny just shot a video on what he appreciates about martial arts. And we do that in Johnny's class, but we'll do it in other classes too if we don't have a lot. But we'll do that in Johnny's class. And then right in front of everybody, we give Johnny 10 tickets, because then he can take those 10 tickets, put them into the drum, because he went a little bit further, a little more buy-in to,
Right.
to that. The other thing too is any parent during the National Martial Arts Appreciation Month that does a Google review for us, we also give them 10 tickets so their kid can put that into the drum as well. So that just gives, their child more of an opportunity to win things by the end of that week.
That's two incredible things. I'm actually writing them down. Get tickets too. So it's amazing.
But with those videos, you have to play them to the other classmates so that they know. Now again, it doesn't have to be just in Johnny's class, but the other class is going, hey, let me show you a quick video on what Johnny did for National Martial Arts Appreciation Month. Play it, boom. Of course, we gave Johnny his 10 tickets. Now he's has more of a chance to win XYZ or XYZs.
Yeah.
It could be multiple things.
And I have a camera, not a camera. I have a TV with a screensaver in my lobby. I could have those videos playing all throughout the whole entire time in the lobby, so that parents could see what they're doing. But I love the fact that that they're shooting a video, and then also if a parent does a Google review or even shoots a video themselves as a testimonial for our website or for Facebook or whatever, they also get 10 tickets for the kids. So this just, again, it goes back and builds. And by the way, this is all synergistic, right? It's synergy that everyone's starting to be a little bit more involved in what we do, right? And that's, by the way, that's what makes schools succeed. The more involved people are, the longer they will stay. That's retention in a nutshell, right? The happier they are in class, the more involved they are with what we do, the more things that they do. That's more of a reason when the kid says, I don't want to go anymore. They're like, you're going. You're going to stick with it.
The other thing is we have an online form that the parents have to fill out in order for the child, their
Right.
the friend to
Yeah.
be able to do it. Obviously, it has the waiver on there as well, but in there it states, not in the waiver, but on the form it states that that parent, one of those parents of that child, has to come and be present while that child's in class. So it's not that, now is it always followed 100%? No, but it's probably followed a good 60%.
Okay.
And the reason that's important is because you want the buyer, because that's the parent, you want the buyer of your program to be present and see what happens. And the reason I bring that up is because that leads me into the next step that we have to make sure that we do is we give them an offer for that day that's good only for that day. Of course, to your point, if they don't want to do it that day, and we can mark it back to them to do a 2-week trial or whatever your standard trial offer is. But on that day, they get an incredible offer that they're only going to get that day. I don't know what that would look like for you, but I will just say we basically have 3 different price points for our program. And so, in that offer, we only actually offer the first 2. We don't offer the third one. But we have what we call flex pay. So it's $60 a week. You can give a 7-day notice. You can cancel.
Right.
The other one is a 6-month package. It's $50 a week. And then that's 6 months. And then we do have a 12-month package, which is $45 a week. But we don't give them all 3 options. We only give them the first 2 options. So either A, they're going to do the flex pay, or B, they're going to do the 6 month. And the reason I'm not even offering the 12 month is only because they really didn't seek us out.
Right.
They were brought there. So I'm
Right.
not going to try to sell them on a 12-month. Now, it's not to say that if they choose one of the other ones that later on we don't approach them, because we do. We have it in our system to do that. But what we also do is on that sheet that we give them that says it's only good for that day. And of course, at the end of every class, we talk about it too, real quickly. But is our TriStar starter pack. So that is the uniform, T-shirt, belt that they're going to get absolutely free, which they normally would pay $70 plus tax in order to have that. But on that day, if they choose one of those options, they're also going to get that for free. We
Mm.
don't. We normally don't give those out for free. They do have to pay for those. And then also on there, we kind of stack it. So we put some other things that they're going to get. We're going to give them a voucher for a 2-hour birthday party for their child to bring up
Yeah.
to 20 of their friends. And then they also get a 2-week free pass to bring in another sibling or a friend that they would like to enjoy doing karate with as well. So they'll get a 2-week voucher on top of that as well. And then they're going to get the digital copy of one of my books. Right now, it's the 30 Days to Higher Self-Esteem for Your Child, that they're going to get a copy of that. So we stack it,
Nice.
and we value stack all of that. But they're only going to get that day if they decide to join.
Right. Right. Yeah, so that's, this is now a whole month of you being able to market, right? We talked about, by the way, this is why you have to get back to what we said in the very beginning. Write down notes and listen to this a few times, because we probably threw out 30 different things right now that are all little mini marketing campaigns that you could be doing at your school. So what I usually tell my clients that coach with me is that, listen, it's never too late to start marketing, and marketing heavily, right? If you're at a point where you're in a rut, and it's very easy as a school owner to get in what I call the martial art rut, right? Where, you do the same thing over and over and over and over again every day, day in and day out. And if you're like me, a seasoned guy who's been doing it for 34 years, you get kind of, you get tired after a while. Like, you sign someone up, another person quits, you have a problem with a parent, and you're like, oh my God, how long am I going to do this for, man? It's been, am I going to do this until I die and my wife and daughter have to come and claim my body on the mat? Or do I want to kind of start building systems where the school runs by itself? And do I want to be able to just enjoy the fruits of my 34 years of labor, whatever it is? And the answer for me is the latter. I want to enjoy my school. I want to enjoy the labor, but I got to build teams, and I got to build marketing systems and so on. And I got to have retention. This National Martial Art Appreciation Month does it all for us in one thing. And by the way, if people are listening and they want the complete package, now what, you're probably thinking that we're going to sell this. But if you want the complete PDF layout of the package that we've worked on, and copies of the logo that you could use, and copies of my different things that I've done, the lineage chart that I use, for an example for you guys, or the 10 suggested movies, I'll send it all to you. So just inbox me on Facebook, or email me at Shihan, SHIHAN @lininja.com, and I'll email the whole entire thing for you. Absolutely 100% free. Duane, you and I wanted to do this to give back to the industry. We wanted to help school owners grow their student base, and then in turn get way more people in the martial arts to get the benefits from it. Right.
Yeah, and if you permit, what we can do too is, we can just have them go to schoolownertalk.com and go to this episode 419, and we can also put it in the show notes where they can just click on it and download it.
Okay, so I'll send you all that stuff
Okay.
you can upload it.
Yeah, and the reason I bring that up too is because we're not harvesting your info, and so that you raise your hand and you ask Allie on Facebook that you want it, and then he's going to somehow market his coaching program to you. Like, that's none of that.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you of course you can reach out to Allie if you want, or you can just go to schoolownertalk.com and go to episode number 419. It'll be in the show notes as well. We'll put that there. The other thing I was going to say, and I'm glad that you're going to do that with the PDF file, is a lot of the things that we've done, we did not do all of them at once, meaning um, we started out small and then we go, oh, this we liked this, but now this year we want to do something a little bit different. So I would say to you, the most important things to do is, one, decide to do it. But whether you're going to do one whole week like us or you're going to do a whole month like Allie, just make that decision. Two, I definitely would say do the t-shirts.
Yeah.
And three, at the very least, I would then have some sort of mat chats or ways that you're talking about Martial Arts Appreciation Month the whole month, so that you can just bring in, so you can create that synergy. And then if you want, you can add some of the other things like tickets every time you bring somebody in. If you make a video, you're going to get these tickets. If there's a Google review, like, you could go in depth with a lot of these things, but sometimes there's so much information that you think, there's no way I can put all this together. You don't have to. You just need to do three things. One, make a decision to do it.
I'm sorry. By the way, looking at, I'm going to send this stuff to you now. I remembered that we did a seminar as well, and we gave it to the students. You want to tell them about that?
Yeah, so we did a virtual seminar with each other. So meaning we picked a Saturday that works for us. You were on my screen for 45 minutes. I was on your screen for 45 minutes with our students and in celebration of National Martial Arts Appreciation Month. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. So that was another thing that we did.
So I was like, hey, I'm my friend's coming in from Michigan. I had actually someone from Michigan, Adam Lux, come in, and then I had my friend from Illinois come in. That's you. And the students got two master instructors for free as part of this event, which was pretty cool. And now with the Zoom, you could do that anywhere.
Yeah. The other thing too, with, I think last year was the new Kung Fu Panda movie came out.
Yeah.
And so we actually had a movie night, and we I have a projector. We projected it on the wall at our studio. We had kids and parents come in with water and popcorn, and we watched that. But it doesn't have to be that. Like, if there's not a new movie, it could be one of the 10 movies that you're suggesting that you could have everybody come in. It's a free event, but they can be a part of it as well.
Yeah, I love it. It's so many different layers, and it gives you an entire month of ways to bring people into your school, get new signups, new members, show the world about what you do, and also retention, getting the students behind what you do and be able to really focus on all the things that will keep them active in your school and keep working with your school for years to come.
Yeah. So just want to remind everybody, make the decision. If you're going to do it, choose 2 or 3 things. I would not choose the t-shirts. They're really important.
Oh yeah.
And remember, this is just one more enrollment push, or one more idea. It's a chance to really strengthen your culture in your school, to keep your students excited, about the martial arts program that they have with you, and obviously bringing in new families who are, they're probably a perfect fit for your school.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'm excited. This thing is really, and by the way, it energized me. And if it can energize me, that's a good thing, because I've been doing this so long. It's like I've literally done everything that you could possibly think of over the last 30 something years. But it motivates me. Like I have a reason to talk to my students about my history and my teachers and my trips to Japan and why we do what we do and all the years of all the stories. We could tell them all. So I think it's so important.
I agree. And always listen, if you know another school owner that could benefit from this, please share this with them. I was talking to a school owner yesterday on the phone, Allie, and she told me, she goes, I shared one of your podcasts. It was the one that, we were talking about that we were both having problems and we were both whining and crying, on each other's shoulder. Yeah. And it was more positive than that. But she said, man, I shared it with another school owner friend. She goes, it's what I needed. It's what they needed. So with regards to this, if you know of any other school owners that could benefit from this, in fact, I think most school owners could, please share, this episode with them.
Yeah, definitely. That's funny that you say that, because that's what